All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming into Inside Your Mental, a installment of Monumental Podcast and Monumental Community and the umbrella of the business. My name is Emmanuel Pierre. I am your empowerment coach, or you could just call me Coach E or call me Teddy, like everybody else does. I have here my first client ever. Okay, first client ever. She went through my whole program. She went through my whole process and she graduated from the process. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lori. Like you said, I did go through his process and quite a few other processes, but
Absolutely.
definitely going to talk about his. I just wanted to share that little background. First, I got on TikTok just scrolling, and I know that at the moment I needed guidance. And so I watched a couple of his lives, and here we are today.
Going on 2 years.
Yes,
We are
yes.
we're going on 2 years since all of this has occurred, which is actually pretty shocking because it went by so fast.
I know, right?
It did. It went by so fast. And I know you guys see the banner that's over my head. So the podcast itself is now broadcasted all over social media. So we're not just on one platform anymore. We are on Spotify, we're on Twitch, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We're actually also on Apple Podcasts too for my iPhone folks. So if you guys do want to go and look for the actual podcast so you can listen to the audio back, you search Mind Your Mental Podcast on either Spotify or Apple, and you'll be able to find it. So make sure y'all check us out. Subscribe to the pages, show some love. It's free for all of these pages to show some love. Remember that love is free. But the topic today, I feel like this is a topic that I talk about a lot, but I talk about it a lot because you guys are still not understanding how important it is. Accountability versus comfort. Okay, I've spoken about accountability so many times. I feel like it's definitely a necessary conversation because one of the things about accountability that people tend to ignore is the work, right? People want to do the apology, but never want to put in the work. They don't want to change the behaviors. They don't want to change the mentality. They just want to continue the same process over and over and realize that they're not changing anything to just repeated cycles. So, with going through what I would call the no fugazi, no sugarcoating process that I put you through, before you got to that process, or before you got to me, like what did accountability look like to you?
So accountability basically look like, if I made a mistake, okay, I'm gonna own up to that. But as far as in mental, emotional, I was always right. Nobody else was right.
Hmm. So you just chose to just like, you know what? I don't want to hear what anybody else have to say. Yeah, I'll apologize to make you feel good, but I know I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. So I can understand that, right? Because we realize that accountability itself is not a very simple task, right? It's something that you really have to put in the work to. You have to put in the effort into making those changes, and not realizing that not taking accountability for certain things can affect your life overall, right? And it's not just you it affects. Anybody attached to you can get affected in regards to your actions and your behaviors and the consequences of your actions, right? Just apologizing, saying I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, that doesn't do anything. Like, who are you trying to feed just saying I'm sorry? Like, where's the change in your actions? Where's the change in your, in the way that you maneuver? You get what I'm saying when you're doing these things. What's going on? I see you, bro. So when somebody break down what accountability is to like if you like since you've actually put in the work, right? And now that you see the difference in what accountability looks like from before to now, kind of give that background on what you think accountability. What's your definition of accountability now that you actually put in the work?
My definition of accountability is more. Well, it is self accountable, right?
Hmm.
I have to realize that I'm the common denominator in every decision, every action, everything.
Right.
So whether I am doing the toxicity or I'm receiving the toxicity, I'm still the common denominator.
Yeah. I mean, you're still in the middle of it all, right? And one of the things that people try to ignore is that aspect, right? It's easy to blame and blame and blame and blame, right? And I'm not gonna, and I don't take away from anybody that actually go through hardship with dealing with certain individuals, because some people really are just that difficult to deal with, right? But there's still accountability in the fact that you're dealing with said individual.
For sure.
Okay. And the one thing that makes it difficult is the fact that you're being ignorant to your own healing, into what you're dealing with,
Yep.
right? You make excuses for that person, and then you stick around.
Yep.
And
And
then
excuses, you know.
that's exactly what it is. You make excuses for that person, you stick around, and next thing you know, you're stuck with this person for longevity. 4 years, 5 years, 6 years,
30
dealing with the
years
same thing.
it off.
30 years, right? You know what I'm saying? You're married to this person, no changes. There's nothing that's changed. You just, you love him. You love her. Love. Love, 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 love.
Then
I
you
love,
bring
I love
kids
it.
into it.
Yes. You bring kids into your trauma. You bring kids into your lack of accountability. And then now they have to watch you deal with the things that you're dealing with. And by the time you say that I'm tired and I don't want to deal with it no more, the damage has already been done.
Yep. And I can say you because I'm saying me. Been there, done that.
Hello. I've been on both sides. How you like me now?
Yeah.
I've been on both sides. I caused the trauma, and then I was a part of it. I was the one that dealt with the trauma. I did both.
Yeah.
I went
Me.
through both. I went through both of them. I held myself accountable and made no excuses on the things that I dealt with and the things that I caused. I fixed the problem without putting blame on everybody else. I
So
made the change.
I was able to do that after
I
I got
caused the
the
problem.
thing. I, I did work.
Right. I mean, it's not easy though. Like, like it's like, let's be honest, right? Because we're serious, but we're not serious here sometimes. Who really wants to hold themselves accountable?
I'm sure nobody.
Nobody, right? We don't want to do that. It's easy for us to be like, I'm just gonna blame the person that broke my heart. I'm
It's
gonna blame the
self
friend.
awareness.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame the friend that's least likely to, to to not take the blame for shit. I'm just gonna blame that person, make them feel like shit. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make them feel the brunt of all of my pain and my trauma and my emotions and my lack of control. And I'm just gonna blame that person. I'm not gonna do none of the work because it's not my fault.
And basically that's it. You know, being a person where I said I'm right, everybody else is wrong. It was easier to put the blame off on someone else. I was a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I perfect. No way it could be me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And perfection is actually a very dangerous. We could talk about that too, because perfection is a dangerous game to play for a lot of people.
Hmm.
Because it shows that there's no room for growth when somebody's trying to be perfect. If you need to perfect every little thing in life, that means when you fail, you're not learning the mistakes from
Yep.
your failure. When you made a mistake, you're not learning the lesson from that mistake. You're continuing to repeat cycles over and over and over, right? Where they say that there's a thousandth way to do one thing to so till you get it right. You wouldn't have to do it a thousand ways if you learned the lesson.
True that.
You could save yourself a lot of time if you sit back and just analyze what really went wrong. Like, like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like if you just took the time to be like, okay, this is what went wrong. This is the role that I played in it. Let me
Hmm.
remove myself from that. Let me look at what they did to me and what I allowed them to do. Now let me look
Yep.
at my part that I played in. Now you have three sections. of accountability, the things that you allowed, the things that you let them do, and the things that you caused yourself. Boom. Split it apart, work on it little by little, raise
Yeah.
the awareness, right? If you need help, hit that right there. Takes you right to my website. You get a consultation for free. 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We have a conversation. We find out exactly what you need help with and where you need to go and what you're struggling with. And I even have a test that you can take and the things that you're struggling with. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can tell me exactly what you're struggling with. I got two of them. She took it.
Y'all
You know what
better.
I'm saying? like
I,
she she took it. She read a couple of my books. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, and the books itself alone is literally my voice in words. That's all it is, right?
so which is
And when
voice in my head.
that's it. Like when you're making decisions, like when you have somebody that's effective at what they do, especially when it's teaching and educating in the aspect of not doing it for you, right? You learn better when they're not doing it for you because you're making mistakes and you're learning your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You're learning from them. They're not just putting in the work for you. And that's another version of accountability that people don't talk about.
That hurts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I can hold you accountable, but I'm not going to put the work for you. I can make you aware of what you're doing wrong, but it's up to you to make those changes. It's up
It-
to you to make those
It's
changes.
not easy. It's not going to
Oh,
be.
no.
No.
Talk about that. Talk about that, right? Let's talk about that real quick.
So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, difficult. It's going to be dark. It's going to be depression. It's going to be overcoming things. It's going to be joyful. It's going to be moments of happiness. It's going to be peaceful. But at
Wave
the
of
end of the
emotions.
day,
Mm.
end of the day, it's going to be worth it.
So talk about the emotional aspect, right? Because a lot of people don't really talk about that part when it comes to accountability. Like, where were your emotions when you started to really dive into no longer making excuses for the things that you pushed under the rug?
I was um I was very disappointed in myself. And I was very, had moments of sadness, pretty much from the disappointment. I was still a perfectionist at the moment, so I was
Hmm.
really hard on myself. I didn't give myself grace for a very long time, and I didn't give others grace either. So I was in
Right.
this anger at some point. Uh, there was no denial though. It's definitely when once your eyes are open, that's it.
No, and that's true though, right? And thank you for that because that's one of the things that really scare people, right? Because once you open up that door, it's very difficult to close that door, right? I think about it in the aspect of a very strong wind behind that door. Because
Mhm.
once you open it, the wind is just gonna shove the door right open. When you continually just shove things and put it aside constantly, consistently, putting things aside, you're not even trying to work on these things. You're just making fucked up choices, and then like, oh, I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. Getting in a bad relationship, the relationship don't work out. Oh, it was their fault. I'll deal with my healing later. Let me jump into another relationship. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Have a bad friendship. Oh, I'll just find another friend to replace that person. I'll deal with that heartbreak and that grief of that friendship later.
Yep.
And then you open that door and everything just hits you all at once.
Yep. Right in the face.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like now you have to train through all of these things that you should have worked on before, but you chose not to.
Hmm. And then I was kind of mad at myself because I'm like, wow, you wasted all this time. You could have done this a long time ago.
Mhm. Right? And it's all as simple as, all right, yes, they hurt me. Yes, they caused me pain, but I allowed a lot of this to happen,
Hmm.
right? And nobody's excused from this conversation. Men deal with it too. We allow things longer than what they're supposed to, and we deal with it and deal with it and deal with it, and then next thing you know, we become these angry individuals. You know what I'm saying? Because every man, most of the time, their first sense of emotion is anger, and they lead with anger. So everything has some type of aggressive rage behind it because of it could be one thing that happened to them in their life. Now everything is filled with rage because they chose not to work on that one thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where comfortability comes into place. You become comfortable with your situation, you become comfortable with your environment, you're comfortable with everything that you've been through instead of being like, I'm hurt. This hurt. This does not feel good. Why does this keep happening to me?
Comfortable in the chaos.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're in that environment where you're comfortable with everything that's going on in the world, or in your world, I'm not gonna say in the world, but in your world, and there's no growth being done, you're kind of just stagnant. You're just sitting there, just forcing yourself to survive off of the things that you're struggling with, crying every night, emotional all the time, always angry, always, you know what I'm saying? Always looking at everybody like they did something to you when they technically didn't do shit to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they did nothing to you, but because you had trust issues with some type of situation that happened in the past, now you don't trust nobody. No, it's not that you don't trust anybody. You don't trust yourself.
Oops.
Like,
That parts.
you know what I'm saying? It's not the people. It's you. You don't trust yourself enough to make the right decisions. Now you have to figure out why you don't trust yourself to make the right decisions. You're comfortable. You're comfortable with all the chaos. That's
And
not
then
healthy.
I had to figure out not just why, but where did it come from?
True. That's true. You got everything that we deal with has an origin,
Mhm.
right? It all has an origin to it, and we have to figure out why it's happening or when it happened and why we can't let it go, right? Even when we know why it happened, because we're not getting the response that we want, we refuse to let it go.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we want that response from that said person that caused the trust issues to begin with. And there's gonna be certain circumstances in your life and things that you're trying to heal from where you're not gonna get the overall response that you want. You're gonna have to be okay with letting certain things go because you're not gonna get the response that you want. Because you're not gonna be able to bombard them with it because they either knew that they did it and they don't care that they did it, or they didn't know that they didn't work on themselves enough to recognize that they caused that problem.
Yep. Or didn't work on herself at all.
That too. So there's many ways that this can go around, right? And you have to be okay with certain aspects of your healing journey where you're not going to get the answers, right? You can't protect your ego every single time. And that's what you're doing. You're protecting your ego. You're protecting the fact that you want to be right, but you know you're not right. You want to be this person that can actually maneuver within their survival mode, but yet when you go home, you're crying, you're drained, you're exhausted because you're not really being your true self. You know what I'm saying? You're seeking validation for certain things that you shouldn't seek validation towards. You're asking people for guidance that's never actually done the work on themselves. So all they're gonna do is enable the shit that you're telling them.
That's true.
So it's like you have to find the right people to have conversations with in regards to these things. You can't just have a conversation with everybody.
And I can tell you before I came to Monumental, before I came to you, I could even walk in the store without crying.
Talk about it.
Like I couldn't even walk and do regular grocery shopping or something without crying.
Nope.
Because even though I wanted to heal at the time, I was stagnant. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do, so I'm definitely not downing anyone for not knowing, and I'm not downing myself for not knowing back then, because you only know what you know when you know it.
Right.
The same-
Agree. I mean, we all go through it. Like you have to. I don't know. So at some point, you have to open your eyes.
You do have to be willing to open your eyes, and then when you do, you know, I love saying, when you know better, do better.
I mean, it's a true statement, though, right? But obviously, there's work that comes behind that. I know it sounds simple when people say it. When you know better, you do better. But
Oh,
there
there's
is,
a lot of
but
work.
you have to put in some work to understand why that phrase hits so different, right? Because there's once you understand the things that you've been through, you raise your awareness, right? Your awareness level raises. You understand that you've been living within a habit, right? A pattern that's unhealthy.
A lie.
Very much so, right? You're dealing with a lot of these things that it's not really conducive to healing. It's not productive, right? And to just overall. So now you're dealing with more things on top. And then for the people that like to people please, and for the people that like to be fixers, and for the people that think that they can heal the world with, by putting other people's stuff on their shoulders. If you choose not to work on your stuff, you're just making your load 10 times bigger than what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Because you have not taken the time to sit with yourself long enough to understand what your issues are. But yet you want to try to fix the world.
Again, my past.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself what your capacity is to all of this. Like, what is your capacity of holding yourself accountable? Because if you don't have a capacity to hold yourself accountable, you can't have a capacity to help others. It doesn't work. You're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted all the time. You're going to have no energy to yourself. I promise you, you won't. Like, I'm telling you this from my experience. I'm telling you this from people that I've coached. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've sat with people that I had to move. I had to move out the way. What's going on, Tanya? I see you. I had to move out the way because it just wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. They're just not receptive. They're not what. Then I wasn't trying to hear anything. It was just me, 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 me. I'm not at fault. I don't do anything wrong.
Who's
I'm
that
just not trying to,
in the past?
in the past, right? But this is somebody's present. This is what they do in the present. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you're that individual that can't be coached and
Yeah.
you're not willing to put in the work, then that's scary because that means you're walking around unpredictable.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? One moment you're okay, the next moment you're enraged, the next moment that you're sad, the next moment you're depressed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really know what ratio that you are at with your life and your everyday. Like, why would you want to live a life like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Where your ratio is like all over the place. Now we've all been through it, right?
Right.
But at some point in time, you have to open your eyes. I'm gonna keep saying that. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. We've all been through some things, but at some point in time, you have to open your eyes.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't keep making excuses on why this doesn't work out or things are not being reciprocated, and I'm doing all of these things for people.
Well, I think it comes down to, for me, it came down to this. I was tired. I wanted peace. I wanted healing.
Mhm.
I was tired of the energy draining, you know.
So, question:
Mhm.
what was the hardest truth you had to accept about yourself in this process?
Hmm. Wow, there were so many. Let me let me think about it.
Go ahead. Because that's a deep one, I know.
That I'm not perfect.
I knew that was coming. I knew that. For some reason, I felt like that was the easiest one for you to pick. So
No,
you picked
it's the overall.
it's the overall.
Yeah.
Perfection is dangerous, y'all. I keep trying to tell y'all. I vocalize that because it's the truth. Because like everybody, a person that wants to be perfect, right? And this is no shot at Lori, right? But this is like anybody that really wants to be perfect, like it becomes it's more of a battle trying to be perfect than not to be perfect.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because at least when you're not, well, let's say thriving to be completely perfect, because there's certain things that you can perfect,
Right.
right? But to be perfect at everything is
You don't
unrealistic.
mess up.
Yeah, it's unrealistic. You're gonna mess up at something, right? And when you create a mindset of I have to be perfect, and then you fail, the detrimental bit like mentality that you're gonna have when you fail is gonna be it's gonna be a lot different.
It is
It's somebody that's
devastating.
not trying to, yeah, it's not for somebody that's not trying to lead to perfection that fail, right? They can pick themselves back up at some point, right? But somebody that's trying to thrive perfection and they fail, I don't want to be near that person when they fail. Okay?
Well,
Because
here's sorry, can I say something?
go ahead.
It's also very dangerous because if you are a person like I was that used to be really hard on myself when I did fail
Hmm.
because I wasn't perfect, it can lead to depression. It can lead to depression, which leads to health issues or stress or any of that is not good.
Correct. 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 And a person that tries to lead, that tries to strive for perfection, that has anger issues, that's a dangerous person.
Yeah, we don't touch that.
That's a dangerous person.
I'm not
Okay?
that one.
That's a dangerous person because rage, believe it or not, they when somebody has rage, there's having anger issues,
Mm,
right? And there's rage. When you have anger issues, your emotions is really through the roof, right? It's that means your emotions at its peak capacity to the point where you're just frustrated. And at this point, anybody can get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where you're at. When you're enraged, you're not even thinking logically.
nope.
Like there's no level of logic in anything that's going on behind that, right? Yes, anger is an emotion, but there's at least you can kind of calm yourself down in a sense. If you chose to, if you have the tools that's needed, you can calm yourself down when you're angry. When
Mm,
you're enraged, them tools go out the window. Yeah,
again.
like tools go out the window, and then now you're dealing with somebody that's really unpredictable. Like, you know what I'm saying, because of things that they're going through. So perfection, if y'all gonna go for perfection, I'm trying to tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. And that's my perspective right there. Don't do it. I've seen it. I've seen what it can do to people.
Don't do it.
You know what I'm saying? And it puts you in a space where you can't really relate to anybody either. Like you don't relate to anybody. You're not really learning from anybody. You're not learning from anything. You're just like, I gotta do this, gotta
That's
do
true.
this,
It could.
gotta do
I-
that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like hyper focused, overly focused. Yeah, overly focused to the point where you don't even see from your peripheral. Like
right. Television.
yeah, it's complete tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying in regards to that. So it's just like sometimes you have to really just stop, take a deep breath. You know what I'm saying? Think about these things that you're going through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like take a moment of silence. I said this the other day. I actually posted it on here. I said, yo, when you sit in silence, you hear a lot more of the noises that we tend to ignore.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Which is true. When you sit in silence, a lot of the stuff that we push under the rug will surface, right? Because now that you're sitting in the silence, you're sitting quietly, nothing's really taking your attention, right? Now you're just comfortable mentally, right? You're cool, you're collected, you're calm. Next thing you know, you start to hear things or understand or like think about things that you probably didn't think about for years. Or things that you're currently going through now, the reason why comes to you. And then, that in that level of quietness, you're just now coming to conclusions that You are the common denominator
Yep.
of a lot of these things.
Thank you for describing my journey.
You're welcome. A lot of our journeys are relatable. Believe it or not, a lot of our journeys are relatable. They may not come from the same color of skin. They may not come from the same background or environment, but we have a lot of common things that we struggle with. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that's different is the circumstances.
Of course, we're humans.
That's it. Right? If we remove color, gender, race, ethnicity, if we remove all of these things, right? And we just look at it as a human perspective, the human aspect of life.
Yep.
We go through a lot of the same things. Okay. Not everything is similar, but there's certain common things. Accountability is one of them. Accountability has no color. You either take accountability for your shit and put the work in, or you don't. That's it.
Sure.
Like there's no color to it. Like you're either comfortable or you're not. Most people that are comfortable are not doing anything to grow. Most people that are
Either,
uncomfortable,
either you want
they
better or you don't.
that's it. And then you isolate. And when you're uncomfortable, you isolate from things that serve you no purpose, right? And then you're growing in your isolation. You're not just staying stagnant. You're not just saying that I'm healing, but I'm really not. You're actually putting in the work, and you're
And
actually doing. Sorry.
oh no,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go right ahead.
So that was one thing, is sitting in the silence by yourself, or me sitting in the silence by myself. Um, I wasn't just avoiding people or problems. I was logically thinking through, what is it that I need to work on? Where is
Mm-hmm.
it? What's going to be the resolution? And then when I reached out, it was to get help.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, one big thing was I really didn't want to be around one when I was trying to figure that out.
I get
I
it.
wanted to sit in the silence because I didn't want to project any of that onto anyone else.
Right. And that's the hard part though, because you want human connection,
Oh yeah.
right? You want to be around people. You want to socialize. You want to be a butterfly, right? In those things, but at the same time, when you're going through these things, when you're going through the aspect of healing, especially in isolation, you're forcing yourself to take accountability for yourself, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because you're sitting with yourself, you're listening to your thoughts, you're thinking about the things that you've been through, you're playing it back like a recording of all the things that you've been through, and you're trying to sift through these things that you've been through to see if you've learned a lesson behind the things that you've experienced,
Yep.
right? Now, when you're in that aspect of learning the things, even the things that are fresh, right? When you're sitting back and listening to your thoughts, and you're replaying these memories of the things that you've been through, it hurts. You don't want to be around anybody after that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like if you are the common denominator for a lot of the pain that you caused, how many times have you done it in your recent transactions with people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start to think about these things now when you take a step back and you sit with yourself a little bit. You're like, damn, all right, so I allowed him to play in my face. I allowed her to play in my face. I allowed my boss to talk to me however he wanted to talk to me and not put my foot down. I allowed my mom to disrespect me. I allowed my dad to disrespect me, my family to speak to me and say things about me, and I didn't say nothing back, right? I allowed people to laugh in my face while I'm trying to be vulnerable. I allowed a lot of these things. I was ignorant to the fact that I was in pain. I was ignorant to the fact that I was grieving heartbreak, grieving a friendship. You know what I'm saying? And I just let this thing build up, and it turned into a ticking time bomb. And at some point, that bomb will implode.
Yeah.
I said, you hear me say implode, not explode,
Right.
right? Like, you damage yourself in the process. So you implode, and now you're dealing with all these wave of emotions. But because you, instead of doing that, you could have took the time to sort through these things individually
Yeah.
instead of waiting for them to build up.
I had to sit with my emotions quite a few times.
I still do it till this day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
But I'm saying specifically during that process.
no, absolutely. I
Setting
still, but I still do it till this day, even as a coach, right?
Yep.
I still go through my things, right? I'm human. So it's like I still go through my waves of emotions. I still go through things that things I struggle with, but I don't put it on anybody. Like, I have enough tools, I have enough regulation to know I can either write it, right? I can write it down. I can listen to music to calm myself down. I can put it in some music. You know what I'm saying? I can make an AI song like I usually do and put it in some music. I can do something to kind of regulate myself. I created a program for myself where I no longer have to explode.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I feel like I'm gonna explode, I go to what calms me down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. A routine. I created a healthy routine on what helps me regulate,
Hmm.
and then I go to that. I go to what helps me regulate.
So mine is distractive grounding.
I like that. Explain to people what that is.
So basically, I really don't know how to explain it. It's basically you're getting your mind to focus on something else
Hmm.
while you're trying at the same time calm your nervous system.
Okay, so you're basically honing into what makes you comfortable, pretty much.
Right, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's calming down. Um, my my go-to, and it will be like ever since I heard it, is touching three different surfaces one at a
Hmm.
time and thinking what it feels like, feeling what it feels like
Hmm.
until I can come back to center.
I like that. I like that. I mean, it does work with all the senses, right? In regards to mental health. So that works. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe somebody else that's listening in could try that too in regards to things that they're struggling with, because they really might help. All the things, like everything, you never know what's gonna help you. That's the one thing. That's why I say to be open minded with a
Mhm.
lot of things, because it's like you can take in all the information. You don't have to apply everything,
That's
right?
right.
Take all the information in, because knowledge is power. So no matter if you need to utilize it or not, at least you know you have it in you. You have the knowledge within you. So it's like,
And
and it helps.
I wanted to share one more thing.
Go for it.
So, and then we'll get back to your question.
Go
Sorry.
for it. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Um, so I am by no means perfect.
Right.
Okay. Not even going to claim it anymore. So I recently learned something very interesting
Go ahead. What is
a-
it?
as far as in my inner child work that I
Okay.
did. The shadow work.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I learned that the inner child I was basically barking orders at, sit down, be quiet, adult me's got this.
Mm.
And I had to go back and apologize.
Ooh.
I know. Accountability here. So I had to go back and meet my inner child face to face, and I had to apologize.
Mm. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
So now we have a very good relationship.
I love that. I love that. Because believe it or not, our inner child, they play a major role in how we operate as adults,
Hmm.
right? Um, if you pay attention to your behaviors as a child and then your behaviors as an adult, it's very, very similar. Very, very similar. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people go like, "No, that's not true. That's not true. Why are you saying that?" If you sit
Hmm.
with yourself long enough, you
It
will
is.
recognize it.
Yeah.
If you sit with yourself long enough, you will recognize the fact that there's a lot of things as a child that you do as an adult.
Yep.
So don't try to fight me on this. Just sit with yourself long enough, and you'll be like, damn, he was right. Yes, I was.
He's right.
I was. I promise you, I am. Because it's like
I'm just saying.
a lot of the times, yeah, a lot of the times we don't realize that our inner child is driving a lot of our things that we're going through. A lot of the roads that we terrain, a lot of the, you know what I'm saying, we going 80 miles an hour trying to be overly emotional and try to overthink. Guess what? That's not coming from the adult. I promise you, it's not.
Mm.
It's not. It's not coming. The logic I would say is coming from the adult, but the emotions are not. The emotions are not coming from the adult. It is that inner child that's like, all right, get out the way. You're not doing exactly what we need to do. I'm going to take this on the road, and if we run into a wall, we're gonna run into this wall together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of us is gonna survive, but we're gonna run into this wall. And I'm gonna have to crack your egg open one time so that way you can open your eyes, because it seems you're not seeming to get it, right? You're
It's,
not seeming to get it.
I
Well,
said all that to say this, that, the healing journey is forever.
it is. It really is, and it's a lot longer for most people because of the fact that you guys are not putting any work in.
Well, it's a lot harder.
Listen, you don't start living life until you recognize the things that you've been through.
True.
So I say longer because they're not living life; they're just surviving.
Okay, I got you're right. Because I didn't start living until this year. I'm 50.
So
This past year, or when I, going through the healing process.
yeah, so that tells you everything you need to know. You're not really living; you're surviving. If you're
Yep.
not going through the things if you're not trying to figure out your problems in life and the solutions to your mental health, if you're just staying stagnant and forcing yourself to just operate negatively, right?
Mm.
Sitting in stagnation, sitting comfortable, making excuses for things that you deal with, making excuses for the people that you deal with, and then still allowing those people in your life. Guess
Taking
what?
it out.
You're the problem.
Hmm.
And I say this with a smile on my face because it's the truth. I say this with a smile on my face because it's the truth, right? You're the problem. Sorry, not sorry.
it, it is.
Yeah, you're the problem. So how do we start working on these things, right? How do we start making the changes? For one, sit with yourself. Sit in that silence for a little bit. Ask yourself all the right questions. Like, was it really me? Because we know the answer, right? We usually know the answer, right? That's the thing. We may act like we don't know the answer, but we really do know the answer. We just don't want to admit the fact that it was us, right?
Uh,
Like, we don't
Yeah.
want to admit it, so we'll just try to act like or try to play stupid.
The
Or
ego of mine did not want to admit it.
yeah, you're trying to protect your ego so bad that you just don't want to admit the fact that it was you the whole time. Like, it was you. Maybe in the beginning it wasn't, but towards the end, it was you. It was you. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
yeah, all the way through.
I mean, I could say that. I could say it was me too, all the way through. I had my moments. Like, I wasn't always there wasn't like I wasn't always a toxic person, but when I got into my toxic stage,
Hmm.
I enjoyed it because that was I felt like I had more control in my
Oh, I just did.
toxic stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that though. Like, cause a lot of people don't talk about that, right? When that in that toxic moment of their life, they act like they didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed my toxic stage. I thought it was fun. I didn't care about who I was causing damage to. I didn't want to take accountability for none of my shit. Like, I was having fun. Okay, like I was having fun. I didn't realize the effects that it was having on people, but I knew that for me it felt good at the time
I
until it
didn't
did.
have fun. I didn't care.
Until it didn't. I was having fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be honest. I was having fun until I no longer until it didn't feel good anymore, and then I changed. Then I did what I had to do. I went to therapy. I got mentoring. I got the coaching. I got everything all together, and I was like, listen, I want to get out of this mindset. I have children. I was like, I can't move like this with children. Like, it doesn't make any sense
Yep.
for me to be like this when I'm a father of two boys at that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like me doing what I'm doing, they're gonna think that shit's okay, and it's not.
Mm-hmm. I know. I have 2 grown children.
So it's just like had
These
changed.
has to go back and apologize to your children.
Yeah, that's not fun. I already did that though. So I'm way past that conversation. I had that conversation already. I had it individually too at that.
Yeah,
Like,
thank God I am past it. So
yeah, I had it individual, like one on one with both of them, and I had it together with them too. So it's
mhm.
just like it's a necessary conversation. I mean, our children didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you bring a child into this world, most of the time it's for a selfish reason. Either you wasn't protecting yourself, or because you dealt with certain aspects of your life that those things missed. Maybe your parents weren't emotional enough. Maybe your parents didn't show you love enough. Maybe the physical affection wasn't there. Maybe the emotional affection wasn't there the way that you wanted for your parents and for the love that you wanted. So you had a child so that way you could show that child that same love.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's many aspects of why people have children nowadays, but they don't think about these things because people don't think deep enough to have these conversations. Everything is very uh surface level.
I really didn't realize that I had done that until you had said something. And it was like, wow, I did that.
I did it too. And it's not to say that my mom didn't love me, because she showed me in the aspect of making sure the house was taken care of. Right.
Right,
That's
right.
But the other aspect that I was looking for, it wasn't there. Right. I didn't get the I love yous. I didn't get none of that stuff. So it's just like I wanted to be able to tell my kids that. So I gave them that.
I didn't feel seen or heard or loved.
Yeah.
So
It was just like you had to have these conversations. Now when you look at it now as an adult, you're just like, damn. Right. Just like I said in the live earlier, when I talked to the older gentleman in my neighborhood, I was
mhm.
just like, when I sat down and have a conversation when he was telling me about his life, after I had that conversation, there ain't nothing else I needed to say. I was like, can't even complain about my life anymore.
That was great. I love listening to older people older than me, because there's so much wisdom that you can gain.
Yeah, Lion was great, man. I loved having a conversation with him earlier today.
Definitely got to have him back.
Oh yeah, for sure, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Me and Jorge Muga is talking about doing a part 2 to today's live anyway. So we'll see what happens. We might end up doing that before we do the other one. The part 2 to that, because I thought that there's still points and stuff that we didn't bring up
Mhm.
in regards to that conversation that we're gonna bring up. So we're definitely gonna do a part 2 to that. Well, okay. I have what we call the reality check. You ready for that?
Okay, let's go.
Who are you protecting when you avoid accountability? Your growth or your ego?
My growth. When I'm
Explain.
taking accountability,
When you avoid accountability.
I'm protecting my ego.
Explain that to the people, please.
So when you avoid accountability, you're protecting your pride, your ego, that I can do no wrong mentality, or it's the other person's fault. They did it, so I only reacted to it.
I only reacted to the things that you caused, things
That
that you did. It is your fault. I
when
blame you. Oh, I lost her. Hold on. Let's get her back. Let's see if she can come back. Come back, Lori. Hold on. I think we lost her. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Oh, no. Can you come back, Lori? Are you still in here? Hold on. Wait. I'm going to shoot her a message. This is getting good. I just shot her a message. She'll be back soon. But no, so she was right. Like when you, oh, hold up. I hear her. You beeped in my
Okay.
ear. There you go.
Okay. I think I lost you there for a minute.
You did, but we back.
Okay, so when you did that, you're taking away the point that, you know, the fact that you are the common denominator.
No, that's true though. I mean, the ego is always something that we choose to protect, right? Because it forces us to ignore the aspect of healing, of taking accountability, of putting ourselves in the limelight, putting ourselves in the hot seat, right? And it forces us to do a lot of things when you take accountability. When you avoid it, like you said, protecting your ego, protecting your pride, right? Being ignorant, highly ignorant, hyperly ignorant. Like,
basically lying to yourself and
that's
others.
it. Very much so. Very much so. So, are you committed to evolving or just staying comfortable with who you are?
Oh no, we gotta evolve.
Got to make some changes.
We gotta always evolve. It doesn't matter that I've got some healing in me, right? That I'm up to a certain point. We always gotta evolve because that's what growth is.
We got to make those changes. We got to continue to elevate, right? That's why I always say knowledge is power. Because you don't necessarily have to apply everything that you learn, but gaining the tools and gaining the knowledge and gaining the aspects of things that's not a part of your lived experience, right? Because if it's a part of your lived experience, you already know about it. You should know about it. Let me rephrase that. You should already know about it. But things that are outside of your lived experience, outside of your environment, there's always a room for, there should be always a room for growth and learning something different. It changes the behavior, it changes the mentality of everything. So
I
I
agree.
like that. I like that. That is very, very true. And I love that. Um ooh, I got one for you. Actually, let's do this one. How do you stay accountable when it's easier to when it's easier to fall back? How do you stay accountable when it's easier to fall back?
How do I stay accountable?
When it's easier to fall back.
My integrity, my core values,
Okay.
my morale,
Hmm.
and basically my conscience. I've done all this work. Why would I want to fall back and not be accountable?
I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Falling back is easier.
It is.
Falling back is very much easier, right? Because this is the one part that people don't talk about is when you're falling back from putting in the work, being accountable, right? You already know all the other stuff. So it's not like you have to relearn all of these things that you're falling back into, the habits, the behaviors, the patterns. You don't have to relearn these things because they're part of your lived experience. You already know these things.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So if you're not too far in to your healing journey and things get difficult, then you can easily revert back to the things that you were doing before.
Oh, you can. And there are some things that I did.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
the point is catching yourself
I agree.
and
Catching yourself is important.
redirecting back to on the right path of what growth and accountability.
It's crazy that we're having this conversation because I feel like I've had this conversation all last year. I feel like accountability was like the forefront of every conversation that we had on the podcast last year. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like coming back full circle. But I think it's necessary because it's not enough people practicing what true accountability looks like. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough people doing it. And I feel like it's up to educators, coaches, teachers, mentors that show it in real time to teach people on how to really learn what true accountability looks like, right? But it does take work.
Yeah.
It does take work. You know what I'm saying? It's a team effort in the coaches aspect and the mentors aspect and the teachers and educators and the person that's willing to learn.
That part.
And that's where it gets hard because you either want to do the work or you don't.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
to say this, and I might get some heat for saying it, but it's okay. Even if you want to do the work, either you're going to do it or you're not. Either you're going to do it or you're going to be lazy.
no, which is the truth. Which is the truth, right? We want people to tell us the truth until it's about us. Right? We want people to be honest with us until it's us that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Until you are the main factor of the conversation. Until it's your fuck up that they're looking at. Until it's you that they're telling that you need to make some changes. Then it's I don't want to deal with it. Well, why not? You're good at telling everybody else what they got going on. Open your eyes. You're human just like they're human. Just saying.
I agree.
You're human just like they're human. So guess what? You're not running away from this smoke either. Like you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna run away from this smoke thinking that you're just gonna get away. Like what you think this is? You know what I'm saying? Like you get in the smoke too. Like you don't get to just disappear because things get hard. No, you need to sit your butt down and deal with the smoke just like we dealing with the smoke. That's it. That's just what it is. And when you realize that, that's when things get better. That's when things get easier. Like deal with the smoke. Let it come towards your way. You're gonna walk through that fire and you become a better version of yourself, or at least a smarter version of yourself. Because you should already know who you want to be or who you are as a person, right? You just kind of just need a little bit of nudging. You know what I'm saying? Might need a little flick in the head a little bit.
Little push.
Yeah, a little nudge, little push, right? You might not just need
Maybe a
like,
good kick in the ass. I'm just kidding.
or you might need to get kicked in your shin a little bit. You know, like I don't know. You need something, shit, because like we got kids that we're raising, people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want our kids to just have the same behaviors that we have. It's not healthy.
But I am going to say this. Don't wait until to need help until the point that you get, or until you get to the point of possibly no return.
I agree, 100%. Right? I know people that are. I can only speak for me, but I know I started my journey at 25. Mine started at 25 when it came to all of this, and it didn't really click for me until I turned 30. I lost her again. Her connection. We're about to exit anyway, but I got to the point where I needed to get at 30. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say from 25 to 30, I did therapy. I went through the healing. I went through the journey. I went through coaching. I went through all of the good things. Your screen is black, by the way. Hold on. Hold on a second. Oh, there you go. I was about to say your screen is black. I was waiting for you to fix that.
Sorry.
So no, you're good.
This
So
this just don't like.
It's all right. It happened. You're not the first person this happened to. I promise you, it's not. Um, it's a connection thing. But what I'm gonna say is, don't wait too long
Mhm.
to start your process. Okay, we know the things that we're struggling with. We know the things that we've been through. We push it under the rug because it hurts to deal with the process. I understand it. I get it. You don't want to deal with it by yourself. You don't have to. Click that QR code.
Mhm.
Scan it with your phone. Get your consultation for free. Have a conversation with me. We'll figure out if I'm the coach for you. If not, I know plenty of people. I know plenty of coaches that have amazing programs that will get you where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? Or if listening to the podcast is helping you, continue to do that. We got, you can take it on the road. We got Spotify. Go on Spotify, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify. Take the conversation with you on the road. Have these conversations with your friends. Have these conversations with your kids. If you want to start the growth and start the change, having these conversations help make change. Have
Mhm.
these conversations. Don't be afraid of these conversations. Be
Just
willing to just go through it.
yeah, just take some kind of action.
Something, anything. Message me, coach. I need help. Hey, twin, message me. I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to go. I need some structure. I got you. I will help you with your structure. I will help you with your discipline. I will help you with your confidence.
You will.
You know what I'm saying? She's not the first person I've done this for.
Look how
She,
tough I was to where I am right now.
when I'm telling you, when she came to me, and this is just me being honest, she's like a fucking firecracker.
Mhm.
Okay. Like it was just like all over the
A
place.
good
And not in a good way either. She was all over the place. But it was, I let her release what she needed to release. And then we got to work. But she wanted it. That's
yep.
the difference. There's a lot of people that say they want healing but don't put in the work. She put in the work to the point where I told her to slow down. Like, because she was doing the work but was not applying the things that she was learning.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure that when she's applying these things that it's going to work. And when she started to apply these things and realized it was working, she came back and kept coming back. And we kept on having conversations and we kept on tweaking things and flipping things and adding and subtracting. And even the things that she already knew, we just evolved it. We just put more umph to it. You get what I'm saying? Into the stuff that she already had already applied to her, or the things that she came with already that she didn't even know that she had. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like sometimes you already have all you need. You just need somebody to help you push through it or the tools to unlock it because you weren't taught these things. A lot of the stuff that I have conversations about, we weren't taught these things. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn myself about a lot of these things. So that's why I don't want to gatekeep none of this stuff either. I want to be able to help you guys become better. And if you guys are willing to do that, you already know how to reach me. I'm across social media. I'm always on Facebook. I'm always on Instagram. I'm always checking my stuff. I have people messaging me asking questions all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm answering questions. I'm giving guidance. I do all of these things. Some of them pay for it. Some of them don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's all an aspect of how you want to handle the situation. Now, if it's a deep dive, I'm gonna have to charge you. That's why I gave the 45-minute consultation because I know sometimes things may take a little bit longer for people to release. So that way we can like really get to the root of things. So, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, cuz. Okay, your cousin's in the chat.
But it's worth it.
I think your cousin's in the chat. Was it Sandy Paradise?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
She said, I'm so proud of you.
Aw, thank you. Love you.
She's amazing, Sandy, honestly. Like she really did put in the work. Like she really did all the good things. And she's continuing to put in the work. She graduated from my program. She went into my brother Derek's program, and she graduated from there. You know what I'm saying? She's continuing with other coaches and other individuals to kind of gain perspective on different aspects of her life, and she's putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? This is her moment and her time to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? In regards to just trying to be better. That's the
But
way
I
I look at it.
be completely selfish because I'm going to say this in summarizing what you said, Coach E.
Go for it.
He is good at what he does. If you want to be better, then message him. Go for the
Appreciate you.
free consultation.
I'm trying to tell you, take advantage of it. There's not many coaches that give that anyway. Not nowadays. They
That's true.
want they want you to just pay out of straight out of your pocket. Like, you
That's
know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to sit with me, you gotta give me this now. So you sit with me. No, come sit with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's be adults and have a conversation. Right?
that's
Let's not blame the other person. Let's sit and look at ourselves. Right?
that's
My whole brand is literally self love. Like, that's what it is. It's that's what the whole monumental podcast is about. Is putting yourself first, holding yourself accountable, and doing the work for self. Even though we've all been through some pain and some people have hurt us, doesn't mean that we can't grow from the things that happen to us. We can make it happen if we want to.
yep.
Only if we want to. But I'm not gonna hold you guys for too long because you already know Inside Your Mental is only an hour. So I really appreciate you guys for being here. Do you have any last words for the folks?
I'm going to say what I said a while ago. Do something. Take some kind of action. If you need help, if you need guidance, please take some kind of action.
Absolutely.
And self-love is big, 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 big in my eyes. Do something for yourself. Give yourself grace.
Absolutely.
Because starting the healing journey, being in the healing journey, continuing the healing journey is not easy.
It's not, but if you don't recognize yourself, it's just never gonna get there.
That's true.
It's
Self
never gonna get there.
number one.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are truly amazing. Thank you for everybody that popped in here. I do see a couple of my people from Twitch that came through, and YouTube and Facebook. You guys are truly amazing. Continue to put your best foot forward. Continue to be intentional about what you want to do for yourself, right? What people think about you is none of your business. What you're trying to do for yourself is nobody else's business but yours.
Hurt.
You know what I'm saying? So in a world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Keep life simple. Love is a glue. Respect is a flavor. You dig, you dig, you dig. Make sure y'all live within your value energy, and I pity the fool